week to make it. This was about 3 pounds of clay.
Was that the inside measurement that you did?
I measured right inside this lip right here. What?
It should be the high point, should be
I measured so that it's going to fit right in here.
fit around that.
Right, and then I can fold these two things up around.
Oh, I see.
But this is a good way to increase your vocabulary, let's say. You don't need to be able to throw 6-8 pounds of clay. You can throw a couple smaller pieces and put them together. And this is the same technique I use when I make a lot of the real big pieces. I just do them over a period of a week and a half, and multiple layers. And again, I'm going to open this right down to the back. Pull this up. Where my measurements are.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to make this edge so it'll fit right in this groove here. Just like that. I want to score this pretty well. Remember what these are? Go to B, 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 and B, and get one. This is an onion holder. And it's really nice too. It's not an effort.
Now, what is this assignment?
What?
I missed it. This is the assignment for next time.
Yeah.
Take a few balls, put them together,
Yeah.
and it has to be done on a wheel.
It doesn't have to be done on the wheel. We'll get quite a bit of moisture on there, so it's nice and wet. And the trick,
You doing it while it's still gooey?
it's stuck to the back.
Right.
If I got it the measurement right, which I didn't.
You pull it out a little bit.
We'll fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
Cut this. I'm not doing anything right today. So I want to get the seam stabilized first.
So you don't just want your finger in there.
Just hold my hand still, Ruby. And then I'm going to start here above the seam and throw down past that. And ideally, when I'm doing this in my studio, I'll put this together and I'll get it almost where I want it. I'll let it set overnight and things are going to kind of stabilize. And when you have wet and clay, wet and dry clay sitting together, it'll always seek a medium. So then it's just a matter of rethrowing this top.
Is there a height?
No. And maybe hand builders, you can be thinking about, how can I put two parts together so that I can make two smaller parts equal one bigger part? Does that make any sense?
How dry was the bottom piece when you started this?
It's rather hard.
Is that ideal, or is it ideal to have both of the pieces be at the same consistency or whatever?
Well, I like the top softer so I can rethrow it. But the reality is you need to let this sit covered for a day or so you come back and get your final curve right, because this is going to shrink more than this at this point.
Is it like a soft trimming leather card, or? Is
Yeah.
it- Yeah.
You can touch it if you want.
Well, it has to be hard enough to support the weight that you
That's
put
right.
on top of it. Right.
Yes,
Okay. Okay.
but I threw that this morning.
Did you cover it, or has it sat out?
It sat out. And then when I got here, I got some moisture on the lift. But working back and forth over that seam, you can make the seam virtually disappear.
Well, I can do that at this point, but then after it dries and gets leather hard, often the seam reappears. You go back and
That's why I like to let it sit overnight, and then the next day come back and throw up and down into the seam again.
And then you put it with the sponge. And wet it.
So we're gonna say, and it needs to be round.
If that's what you
The
say,
first piece he
Vicky.
did that too.
It doesn't
Well,
have
I
to
took
be.
the
can't-
piece he
I
just
can't-
threw.
I can't do what I'm saying.
So, did he say that he added more moisture?
Like the Tom one day.
No, only he did it, you saw him do it.
Yeah, oh, he just did it.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So does it have to be a vessel or?
No. Surprisingly, you have so far. All right, so next week will be a work week, and we'll see. I also posted some images from Dan Finnegan on the doorway. I have some posters for his workshop. If anybody's going to frequent anywhere where we might have some folks that like to come and join us. Where?
Put it up in my work.
Where? Oh, it's your smoothie? Sure, why not? I'll give
I
you
mean, a
one.
lot of arts people come in.
Artsy people and smoothies go together, is
They
that what
do?
you're
I
saying?
think that's a good one.
Little city play.
Now, one thing that's going to come up, and since we have the majority of the Pottery Club here, do we want to charge outside people a fee?
Maybe like $3.
something low.
Just have them bring food.
Bring
They
food?
bring the
Does he put
food,
a-
yeah.
A cup out or a vase and just say suggested donation?
$5?
That way people can, might
Sure.
pay more, you know?
Are you talking for Friday night and Saturday, or Friday, you know, it might be, what about having free Friday night lecture and then donations for Saturday?
That's, I think that works too.
Mhm.
Make it too complex, you're not gonna get anyone.
Well, how about some suggestions? We just wanna let it go out of the goodness of our hearts and invite
That's how I would do it.
Clay.
your program
I
here
agree
at
with that,
PVCC,
yeah,
and
I
I think
agree.
that if we
And we
just,
have enough money that we're not,
yeah.
and we just ask them to bring food.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds
Right.
good.
Suggest that they bring food.
Yeah.
Not
Tell them
Friday
they
night.
have to
Give
bring
me
food.
everything.
Can we bring food?
Yes, we're gonna bring food too.
Not
Cause
for
lunch,
Saturday, just
lunch on
Saturday.
Saturday, no, April 16th.
Lunch on Saturday.
Yeah, lunch for that is gonna be potluck.
Nice.
Okay, potluck.
Yeah. And for everybody that hasn't been to a workshop yet, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to come and see how somebody besides me makes pies. And that's an important thing.
And
Right,
Nancy
Doug?
says that
Yeah,
this guy's
of
really.
course.
I wanna feel the bond.
Be careful.
All right,
So Tom, that was a pretty severe mismatch,
it was.
but you did it really well.
Thank you.
You normally wouldn't have even tried it, right? You would have rethrown it or something?
Yeah, I thought I pulled that one off pretty well myself.
Is it pretty much 100% fixed? Or, I mean, you just did it, pretty much finished it for the demonstration, but
He kind of looked surprised when he did it, so.
Yeah,
I wasn't paying attention.
You know,
well, what you did was when you scored it and soaked it in water, you stretched it a
So
little.
if you wanted to put a third section on it, would you
The same way, you just have to let this dry
would
and
you recommend covering the bottom, or is it gonna be kind of forgiving?
cover the whole thing because it's gonna wanna start evening out. I'd probably leave it out for a little bit because it always dries from the top down. Let this start to stiffen, then cover it for a couple days till it evens out. And you can just keep building up. Don't forget how big our kills are.
But is there maximum, what's the maximum size you want?
Kill size.
Our kill shelves are 12 by 24, and our chamber is this tall. So the bigger it is, the harder it's going to be to get it fired.
The longer it'll take.
That's right.
that's a great shape.
It's like you've done this before.
Cookie jar.
Pencils.
I decided to keep it on.